Wow, I don't think anyone's turning up. I think YouTube finally died. YouTube caught the COVID. Oh, Coop Domain, Stuart Menzies and Peter. Okay, so maybe YouTube didn't die. But it's slow. I imagine everybody's going to have to tolerate something like 480p for their streams. It took me a couple of attempts just to get YouTube to agree to stream. Kept coming back and saying to me, live streaming is currently not available. Please try again later. So they're waking up with their kale shakes and stuff. Richard, Crazy J, Unix Psycho, Robin, Thunder9, Raphael, Sonia, Ed, and Pirnov's even here. Well, things can't be too bad if Pirnov's here. Let's see, this is the one that I picked up yesterday and I'm just putting it back together before I lose the pieces. And then I can set this machine aside as I don't know. Not sure what I'm going to do with this machine yet. I don't really need it as a testing machine. And I've already got my compiler machine. So I'll have a think about it. Obviously I don't have a drive for it. I can get drives, and I do have several 120 gig drives for this, but I want to make sure I get one of the non-Samsung ones. So we'll just set it up so it's ready to roll when we are. Did I forget to put that screw in? I did. Hey Yankov. Hey Keith McDermott. Alan Flickney. 19 cats. My gosh, man, how do you do that? What size is your property or house? How do you manage that? That's impressive. I'll grant you that. Hey Enrico and Robbie. Ah, Margarita's here. Hello, Margarita. Oops. I'm kind of excited for Monday. Is that on? Yep. I'm kind of excited for Monday to come around because, no, that's normal for me. I'm always excited for the weekdays. I get terrified by weekends. My 82 volt lawnmower and whippersnipper will be arriving hopefully, and finally I'll be able to do some yard work again because my petrol ones have died. And I had some good petrol ones. I had a Honda 425 4-stroke straight shaft whippersnipper. It's a good machine, but it's old now, so I need to retire it. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how these 82 volt ones go. Wow, I'm having a bit of a brain fart, I'm afraid. We do have some machines to repair. I'm just, like I said, want to get these out of the way before I get started with that, so that I don't cross-contaminate my shelves with bits and pieces. Jacob, I did some more driving around today, mostly because I had to take groceries out to my parents. Obviously, because they're a little bit older, they can't really take the risk of coming into town and doing the shopping, so I do it on their behalf and take it out to them. It's not too far a distance. They meet me about halfway, so it's only a 100-kilometer trip all around. Did you fix warranty return Mac? Oh, the dead PCH one? No. I've got a board for it, but I haven't done that one yet. Unfortunately, Anel did destroy that one. Hey, Mark Fabian. See, Alan Fleckney. Small seaside cottage, but loads of countryside and no roads. What sort of cats do you have then? I imagine they'd be fluffy ones to deal with the winters. Hey, what's going on here? Why are you a little shorter than you should be? Ah, it's better. I do have an iPhone 7 that needs a audio IC job done. I suppose I should... Yeah, no, I'm going to do that off camera. Hey, Paul Howe. Sabatino. The good thing about me doing these sort of dead, inactive type fix-ups, clean-ups and things like that at the start of the stream is it gives a chance for everybody to step in before I get started with any repairs, and then we don't have too many of the, what are we doing today? What board is this? Or slightly less anyway. I'm not plugging the battery in, I'll just leave it at that. I'm trying to think where I'll put the screws. I know where they are, but I don't know where the box is that contains them. Okay. Alright, well, we've got a 1425 to start. Yeah, I know, people are screaming already. Oh dear God, why 1425? And I agree, they're not the most ideal machine to be working on. But I already spoke to the person and I said that, there's a bit of an unfortunate model and it's got its issues. And so it may not be necessarily worth spending any money on it. But they had to think about it and they came back and decided, no, they'll give it a shot. So here we go. As far as I recall, the issue with this is that it just generally runs quite slow and poorly. The fans run at high speed. So it might be just a cooling issue, but it could also be an SMC sensor issue. Hey, Pro Engineer. Cats are mainly black and white tuxedos. Yep, we spoke on email. Oh, right. Yes, of course. Sorry, Alan. Again, I do apologise. Whoops. If I damn, what's that screw? If I forget to put names and pictures and people together, it's just not my strength. And unfortunately, it's not something I put really any effort into improving. So we'll probably go nowhere with that. It's not because people are forgettable per se, it's just I'm not very good at putting effort into that. Okie dokie. Well, it looks too clean for it to be a dust issue, so we can rule that out. Being at 1425, I've got this god-awful battery contraption set up here. Yay. I don't know what Apple was thinking when they decided to go with this style of a battery connector, and it's like, it's the whole machine, the whole 1425 is a very unusual amalgamation of crazy ideas. I mean, why would you even go so far as putting this crazy spacer on it? I'm not getting that spacer out. It was almost like they desperately need to get a new model out or something, and they said, just do anything, what do we got? And someone had this in their trash bin of designs, and they said, well, I got this. And Steve Jobs said, we'll take it. Hey, Christian. Alan. Damn it. Pulled my sort of joke on me. Well done. I think we'll just take this board out. If there's going to be issues, it'll probably be on the back side. Ben, I'm not really sure what year the 1425 is. Welcome to my other limitation. Unlike some people who can rattle off every spec and fault and number of these type of machines, I'm definitely not in that class of people. For me, it's a case of I look at it and I go, it's a MacBook. If it's not a 1466 or a 1502, maybe a 1398, I'm basically completely clueless. It's probably a good word for it, clueless, yes. Instead, I rely on Google to make me look remotely competent. So when the internet goes down, so do I. Why do they put a Phillips on these, honestly? $2012. Thanks, Farnell. Yeah, the SSD is a very strange thing, how they put it up here. It's, to be fair, I mean, I actually prefer it. It stops them doing more stupid stuff with the trackpad, like they do with the 1502s and the 1398s. Why they couldn't just keep a pack like they have on the 1466, I don't know. It's very annoying, that much I do know. Keith Windsor, 100. Whereabouts in South Africa are you? Last year. Is my microscope a variant on the Eakins? I'm actually not sure. All I know is it's an AMscope. AMscope 4TP thingamajiggy or whatever they are. Wow, that's... you're really locked in tight there, buddy. It's near impossible to get off from this side, but dead easy from that side, go figure. Port Elizabeth, oh good old PE. Unfortunately I never got to PE. I travelled around pretty much everywhere else, but for some reason PE never came up on my list of places I had to get to. And I mean, we had hotels there, but for some reason, I never got assigned there to fix anything. I can't even remember what the name of the hotel we had there was. Probably because I never went there. Definitely trade is up a lot. I'm having a hard time getting orders out the door, well, jobs done. So yeah, everybody wants their stuff done. To be fair, a lot of the stuff that I'm doing is not MacBook repair. It's things like Johnny's Windows laptop for school and things like that. But yeah, I'm happy for it. Oh man, cannot get that out either. Keith Windsor, it'd be the Stocks and Stocks hotels, but then it became legacy hotels. Like the Michelangelo in Santon, Castleburn, Quamaratoni, Buckabung, places like that. I've got the name of the place on the tip of my tongue. I wish I could just remember it. Something starting with D, I think. Oh, damn it. Right in my face. I think DeCosta or something was the name of the place. It's gonna bug me now. Oh, that's right. Oh, come on, man. How many more screws you hiding here? La Cote de Ville. Oh, that's okay, Keith. No, it's something I should have remembered. Same as I should remember why the heck this isn't coming out, because I've obviously forgotten a screw somewhere, even though I can't quite recall where it is. Somewhere down here. Yeah, it is. Under the fan. You take the heatsink off these? That's weird. I don't remember doing that before. Clearly I don't do the 1425 enough. That's probably a good thing. Note to self, take the heatsink off first. What? Hey, Stockholms. Le Cote d'Azur. Le Cote d'Azur? Now I gotta look it up now. Legacy hotels. It probably won't even be part of the group anymore. I mean, it's been a quarter of a century. Let's see. Not Kruger. No, not Takuru Beach Lodge either, Bush Lodge either. I think they've sold them off. That's okay. Hey RDP. Alright. What was that? Let's have a look around, see if we can find anything that might tell us why we're having extreme fan spin. Well, we can't blame the SMC, that one's fully sealed. So, we're going to be looking for a sensor. If I was smart, I probably would have run a sensor test before I pulled this apart. But, where's the fun in that? Where's the fun in being given the answers, which probably would be a red herring? A bit like my job at the fast food joint the other day. Do I still think it's a good choice to buy a MacBook in 2020? Well, I don't know what the new ones are like, but I still think the 1398, 1466, 1502 series is a good series to get. What's the bet this is actually just a battery failure? Because this looks very clean. Bad battery. It doesn't explain the fan spin though. I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of... but that's nothing. But yeah, we definitely can't blame the SMC. I mean, that thing's sealed up tight. Landslide. Pro Engineer, well, I don't think there's open source ones. I believe that Harold has done a couple of testing plugins. Yeah, it makes me wonder whether I want to take this off or not. Then again, it could still be an SMC failure, but just not from corrosion. But then it wouldn't work properly. It'd have to go into SMC bypass mode. Too many maybes. Not enough information. Hey Mount Bianca, oh thank you, especially considering that it's pretty dead right now. Hopefully we'll get something entertaining there. Often trackpad 13 causes slow working and fan spinning fast. Could be that. We'll have a look what's under this fan, this heatsink, but I don't think we're going to see much. The only other possibility is that the heat transfer pipe has cracked and let out something, but that's low on the likelihood. Yeah, Christian, funnily enough, my wife really likes the gloves and she wants them. I gotta admit, I personally don't mind the colour. It's a mint green, light mint green type thing, so it's not that displeasing in real life. I really cannot find a blame factor here. So far as 1425s go, this is pretty impressively clean. I'll have a look at the daughter board and the rest of the chassis. Pro engineer, that's an interesting factoid. I feel disappointed that I didn't know that. But I am pleased to see that they're looking to do a launch on May 27, finally. SpaceX with the crew. Tell you what, that's got to be nerve-wracking. Nerve-wracking for SpaceX. If it all goes well, then things are going to go really well. If things don't go 100% well, then yeah, that could be quite a publicity issue. But I'm hoping for the best. I mean, no, that's grease. I was going to say, look, there's some junk there, some milk junk. But it's not. It's grease. You just don't normally see it. Everything looks really good. There's a teeny tiny smudge there. Nothing to... Damn. What's going on with you, laptop? Why are you slow? Slow and hot. The trackpad looks clean. Everything looks clean. That's really annoying. Apparently it has been to a couple of other techs, Apple and such. And they basically reported that the same thing, that they can't find a legitimate cause. So at this stage, the only thing I could possibly think of is that we have a sensor way out of whack. Oops. It's just weird. We'll put that on the back burner for the moment and have a look at the next one. 50% says it's the battery, 50% says it's just the fact that it's a 1425. Hey, defreeze. Alright, I've got to open up this thing. I've got a great big core flute box here, because this thing contains a monstrous 17-incher. Someone made themselves a custom box for it to send. Unfortunately, it cost them a pretty penny in the postage too. Probably more than they should have had to have paid, but that's Australia Post. Very impressive job. cut here. Wow, they even labelled it in. Check this out. This person's done their job well. If I can just make sure I cover everything up. How's that? That's some seriously good advising packaging. I don't normally expect people to go to this extent, but kudos. I'm just slashing open the patient. Well, I'll tell you what, if Australia Post had managed to damage this, then they really would have to pay out, because this thing's one of the best protected MacBooks I've ever had delivered. What have we got? 4 levels of protection. Each probably would have been fine to cope with it themselves. Very nicely. Oh man, I feel bad putting it onto my desk. Let's get this flux out of the way. We don't want that nastiness contaminating things. Get the bug corpses out. Like I said, I feel bad bringing this very nicely cared for machine onto my workbench. Oh, Phillips. It's when you know that you're dealing with something a fair bit older. You have to go and find your Phillips driver. You too big? You're way too big. Have you seen Simpsons episode where they lend Flanders' vacation house? Not really, no, not likely. I didn't really follow The Simpsons much. I think when it first came to Australia I watched it, but beyond that, not much beyond that. The problem with this is probably a GPU fault, as in GPU voltage regulator fault. Okay, what's going on? That is seriously stuck down. Alright, this person takes their computing seriously. Wow, this has actually got part codes on it. Now that's something. Yeah, you're thinking of the C771, is it? Okay, let's get the battery out. The only thing that I always have trouble with this one is how the battery is embedded on the underside of the board like that. But other than that, it's not too much drama. I think the biggest catch with these is just the sheer number of cables and screws that you have to undo to get to them. And the plastic fatigue. Yeah, defreeze, I actually changed over to Wearer not too long ago. Listen, that screw was kind of half out. Prior to that, I had some semi-good brand of what I was using. But yeah, I took the investment and bought myself a whole series of Wearers. So I mean, and I got 2 sets of pretty much everything. And I'm happy with that investment. The only downside I have with them is the fact that there's no markings on the end caps, so it's actually quite difficult to quickly see what you're trying to grab a hold of. Like if I want a T6, it's a bit tricky to have to pick them up and read that just to see if it's a T6. So I guess you end up just picking up what you think is the right one, trying, and if it's not, put it back, try another one. But yeah, if they put a better labeling on the end, that would make things just perfect. Some crazy voodoo down there. Yeah, this is definitely not a 2915. Like I said, it's amazing to see all the part codes on the board. Downside is it's actually quite hard to see if you've gotten all the screws out on this one. I think I must have them. Alright, that's it. She's out. Find a place to put this down safely. I do not want to risk mussing up their chassis. Okay, let's have a look. Hey, Dennis Norris. That's some proper speaker for a change. Now the downside of all the writing as well is that it makes it hard to find the board code. Interesting, looks like someone's already been scratching at that, like an on-off test or something. Whoop. Well, didn't expect to see that, but that's not, looks like it's been reworked there or something. Something to vaporize. It's no, someone's done some work there, and I don't know whether that's factory touch-up or what. But you see, it's got solderers being manually put on there. It's kind of strange, because I would not have thought that this machine had been opened before, at least not on first impressions. It seemed awfully pristine inside, and I cannot find my damn marking pen. Fine, we'll have to go green. I want red, but we'll have to go green. So that's the first thing that seems a little strange. The slightly green pads, that's just fairly normal atmospheric induced corrosion. Okay, we've got some serious heat problems over here. And this is all being reworked. You can see all the flux. See all this? Someone's been getting in on this. Defreeze, I've actually got one of those drivers. I think it's a Phillips #1 size or something like that. You're talking about like the diagonal black scribe lines that seem to be on the tip? It's like these sort of greenish corrosion things, that's just fairly normal atmospheric type corrosion. Let's take that speaker out. So I'm not quite sure what to make of the history of this so far. And we still haven't found the board code. Oh, random things falling off the bench here. It seems like we are in fact in the presence of something possessing my tools. Well, this sticker says everything to me. A 639 sticker, that means it's an Apple refurb usually. So it's like this board has gone back, been refurbished, and then reinstalled. But I'm surprised that they did not wash the board. 2610. Pernov was right, so Pernov gets the prize, which is nothing. Oh, what the hell? Alright, jackpot of horrors. What is all this? Is this someone's attempt at... that looks like UV cure or something. That's a cracked inductor there, although it's only the outside, so that shouldn't be a big issue. But look at this. What have they been trying to do here? I'm trying to... That's for USB port. It's like this person did not have access to hot air. They had to use soldering iron. With the scratching marks, so they're clearing away something there. I wouldn't call it epoxy, it's more... it's slightly rubberized, so it could be some kind of silicon. That, or it's some part that's basically corroded to death or burnt to death. Wow, no, it's just their... Excuse me when I say this, it's just their shit soldering. And they've... Okay, so they've basically just bridged the two parts here and then put some black coating over it to hide for the fact that they bridged it. They don't see the problem. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you had to bridge it for whatever reason. But definitely whoever did this does not have a hot air gun. Hot air rework station. And the question is, was this an Apple approved repair center? Or was it someone else? Yeah, it does look like roof tile, doesn't it, Dennis? Where this is getting complicated for me is that I don't know this board very well. Well, in fact, I don't know it at all. And so I don't know if... Does the 2610 suffer a cap issue like the C771s? Or am I dealing with a completely different GPU issue? Was that PP5VS3 C771? Okay. Hey Ace, how's it going? Well, let's see. C26. Let's bring up the 2610 on the board view. Maybe they thought they were chasing a short, but they were actually after C771. That's how you overclock that model. Oh, you can overclock it? Oh, okay. Firephone, I had a similar branded one, kind of like the one that Jason Vilmer and Chris Long use, or used to use before we switched over to Quicks. Let's see. Alright, so C771 on this, well, it's the only one, is just above the RAM, jammed in there. Oh, I see it, yes. Oh, yes, I see you right there. There you are. And no one else can see that. Oh, yes, you can. Alright, so we'll consider that as being our primary failure point and everything else is some sort of hack job. Oh wow, they've even gone, why would they do this too? Look at this, all these scratch lines here. Oh, what were they trying to do there? Funny little chaps. Alright, let's get that out of there. Let's get some flux. Actually, we might just pickle it to help it out a little bit. Oop. I'm not going to use a wire brush to... Oh, well, they might have used a wire brush. I'm really not sure what they've done there, but anyway. Not that it really matters at this point. Oh, you think they used a wire brush? That or a fiberglass pen, perhaps. Yep, tantrum caps, 330 microfarad. This is my 2 volt. I'm going to swap it out with a suitable ceramic. And the audience gasps in horror. You can't use a ceramic for that. So yeah, you can. Well, usually. Now I gotta find it though. In here somewhere. I know I've got them somewhere. Unless I put them back in the generic parts box, which seems a little unlikely because it's not really a part that I would use on anything else. Backlight caps? No. There we go. 330 microfarad, 2.5 volt, 1210 size. It's pretty much a dead set drop-in fit. I don't think the BST863 is a copy. I think it's certainly made to be similar, but I don't think it's a direct copy. Alright, see, look at that. What a perfect fit. Hey Justin Anderson, Jimbo, how's it going, Jimbo? I mean, if you're going to get something like a quick, you're probably better off getting a quick. It's pretty much what it comes down to. Just get a quick. Get the 861 DW. I mean, it's proven over and over. As I was complaining in the last stream, though, it would be really nice if they produced a rotary encoder version. And our cap is now in there. Look at that, beautiful filleting and everything. And that should solve that. So that'll solve the graphics issues, but yeah, well, we'll have to look and see what they're doing with the other thing. Now, Margarita, you said that this is actually some sort of overclocking. Can you give me more details on that? Because it's kind of weird. Hey Warren Steams, how's it going? There's Jimbo, all as usual here, under lockdown, a few hot days and some rain. Jimbo, whereabouts in the world are you again? Sorry. I know I keep asking people to repeat themselves. After about the 50th time, I'll probably start remembering. Yeah, Kaki, the, do you want the product number? Oh man, they really scratched this to heck. You can definitely tell they didn't use hot air because of the fact that these are not melted. These plastic outer rings melt all the time when you use hot air. And it looks like they've moved this. See how it's... Yeah, then again, maybe it is factory like that. Belgium, right. Thank you. I'll link in the part. What's over there? Two, 6, 7, 1, 5, 9, 2, 1, 5, 9, 2. Come on, here we go. Copy. Paste. Hilarious. It's too big. Anyway, that's the capacitor I use instead of the tantrum caps. So yeah, let's have a look and see what they've done here. I've got the wrong tip on for what I like to do, but this is just a plain old chisel tip that I've got running at the moment. Will you be updating OBV for the new Macs that are coming out? CJ Music, what do you mean by updating OBV with the new Macs? I mean, does the new Mac OS not run OBV, or... Sorry. Apologies if I'm making strange questions, but... looks like they're dealing with some nasty solder there too. Yeah, flex board view for the board schematics. I'm still confused. Are you talking about getting the new schematics? Because obviously flex board view does not come with any schematics and stuff, so to get access to the schematics, someone else has to release them so we can use the board files. And it'll probably be a couple of years before we see any of the new MacBook board files. Because obviously flex board view, you know, it's just a viewer, so it works with any board files out there, whether it be Dell or Toshiba or whatever. It's just a viewer, kind of like Microsoft Word and Adobe PDF Reader. You don't actually get any files with it. I gotta say, that is probably the most difficult thing to deal with regards to competing with the likes of ZXW and Phone Board, is that ZXW and Phone Board and a lot of those programs have created this perception that the software will come with schematics and board views, but they really don't. If I did that, I wouldn't be live streaming anymore, because I would be in court or jail or something like that. I really don't know what they're doing here, Palnoff, because I'm gonna look at the board view and schematic and see what this says. Pardon me. Well, according to the board view and the schematic, they're connected, and looking at the trace down there, it looks connected enough to me, so I don't know what the deal is there. I don't know, maybe because it is a fairly heavy bit of circuit board there, so maybe they couldn't even clear it. That was the problem, maybe. So they had a blob in there, and then they decided they're not going to bother clear it because it's okay, because they are in fact connected. Kind of like what I'm doing right now. I'll just verify that they are connected, as in there's no trace break or anything like that. Yeah, I mean, there's no trouble there. ANE555. Buzz, with regards to low ESR, it's a little bit, I mean, the ceramics generally behave pretty well like that. And at this point I haven't yet encountered them not working. Not that that means that they're perfect, but they do seem to work. And at this stage I'm happy to continue on with that. Okay, I'm going to rework those two caps there, get them cleaned up. I know I'm going over old work, but I do want it to at least look okay. Man, there's some seriously unpleasant solder going on down here. I might just take these off. And see what's going on. Put down some fresh ones. We'll find out what size they were, since I do not have a 2610 board that I'm aware of. So it's a 10 microfarad for that one there, and a 100 nanofarad or 0.1 microfarad for the... Hey Sean Collins, it's not too bad. It's just more a case of we've got some cleaning up to do from legacy rework. It'd be nice to send it back in better condition than what we get it. But my curiosity is admittingly wondering whether this was a official approved Apple place or not. Pardon me. Let's see, 10 microfarad, 6.3, 603. Yeah, I've got those values in a box already. Let's see. 402 caps. 603 caps. Oh crap. Jeez. Almost principled skinned myself then. So I'm after 10 microfarad, 6.3. I don't need 25 volts. I don't need 22 microfarad. I've really got to split these out. I've got too many different sizes sitting in the one box. It wasn't a problem previously because I pretty much only had 603s or maybe 805s. But now I have got a billion of everything. Wow. Okay, maybe I don't have the caps I thought I had. I'm gonna have to steal the 10 microfarad 603 from a iPhone. Because I know they do have them. Yep. Well, that was very unimpressive, Paul. Anyway, I should have the 402s at least. 402, 10 nanofarad, 10 volts. Oh, sorry, 100 nanofarad. Hundred nanofarad, 25 volt, 402. That'll work. Hey, James Ewing and Stray. Defreeze, it was just a case of I kind of choked on my own spit, I suppose you could say, just to be vulgar. You know how it is sometimes when you're talking and you try to stifle something and you trip up on yourself. And people think you're dying, but really you just feel like an idiot. Hey Teresa. I'm playing with dragons, okay. Is Pedro still around? Okay, let's get an iPhone board and steal a 603 off that for a 10 microfarad. Actually, maybe an iPhone 5S will do it. Oh, Skyrim, right. Fair enough. Oh great, the 10 microfarad but they're 402s. Hilarious. I'm pretty sure there's one or two up here somewhere. 22. Yeah, search, find a part. 10 microfarad, 603 size. What was the voltage I wanted? 6.3 volts. Oh, the 165 board has it anyway. So we'll take it off the 165. So where is that? Looks like one of these boys. Okay, Kiki, enjoy the grocery shopping. Yay. $34.76. That's gonna be a 1425 board. I'm not sure I want to meddle with anything else up here. We've cleaned up the bit of rattiness that we had. So we can find those other areas that were a bit ratty. If I can remember where they were. No, they've gone around everything and brushed it up. That's really interesting. My green marker helps find the day. Now the trick here is we've got this lovely connector here, and if we rework this area we're probably going to mess up that connector. Just kind of curious what compelled. Maybe they were looking for shorts. So what is this? R7389, C7300. S3, that's what Peonov was saying before. Let's see if we do have any sort of excessively low resistance on that line. Nope, we're good there. Defreeze, no, that unfortunately is what it really looks like. Just give it a bit of a wash. It's predominantly flux residue that's making it look really nasty. There you go, so it looks a lot better now that the flux has been washed off. It's just a bit bulbous, that's all. Maybe I don't need to do anything with that. Certainly you can see they've been trying to turn it on and off. Right, this was the other area that was a bit of a mess. Give that a scrub as well, see if it looks okay. Yes, new Crisis is coming out. It'll probably be the COVID edition. So Pernov's theory that they were chasing a short could be possible. Yeah, things just look a bit dirty, but it doesn't look out of hand. Hey, Greg McKenzie. I will be putting this through the ultrasonic. I just want to clear up the worst of the flux first before I put this back into the machine to test. Oh, this stuff's tough. Almost too tough. Now, come on. I'm going to change my gloves. This is how much I really do not want to damage or dirty this machine up. I'm going to actually change gloves so that I don't transfer any sort of dregs of flux or anything across. If you can clean it like this, why use the ultrasonic cleaner? Just as I believe someone else just mentioned, the ultrasonic cleaner gets into places that you just can't get with the normal alcohol toothbrush. It's also, you know, it obviously cleans everything. And the trouble with using alcohol and toothbrush is that you generally you're just diluting the flux more and more. But you still almost always end up with a very thin layer or very dilute layer of flux on the board, and you can feel it and you can see it. So the ultrasonic does a good sort of complete clean, as it were, as they like to say about toilet paper and things like that. Hey Oliver. I'm not going to bother putting the speaker on. That would be a distinct overkill at this point. It's probably going to require me to use about 50 pieces of Captain tape just to make sure I don't... Yeah. Make sure I don't snag every damned cable with... Put that over there. Undertake, I use a product called Ambersil. Well, its brand is Ambersil, and it's just ultrasonic cleaning fluid. And you dilute it down about 5 to 1. Well, I should rather say, yeah, 1 litre of that stuff will give you about 5 litres of cleaning solution. So I need 2 of those at least for my current cleaning tank. Because I have a 22 litre cleaning tank at the moment. But I don't fill it completely up. I'm not even sure what I really need to connect or not to test this. I think I'll put a screw in on the MagSafe so it doesn't jump around. you idiot. Put the screen cable latch on the underside, that was real smart. Some of these things I connect just simply to hold the board. Yes, it's a bit of a tragic thing, Pro Engineer. We actually try our best to utilize the letters in the alphabet as if they meant something. Soldering, neighbor, honor. The trouble with America is they've taken you out of everything, which is why nobody feels any sort of ownership towards their actions. There's no you in honor anymore. There's no you in neighbor. Color is such a nice one. Oops. Come on. In you go. Alright, you're going to be a little bit tricky. Thank you, Pedro. Yes, everybody buy Flex Boardview. You buy Flex Boardview and you help me buy a house. I'm getting pretty close now to getting my deposit ready. I need about another 18,000 I reckon, and I should be good to go. Finally get somewhere and yeah, save more kitty cats too. But of course, you know, if you don't repair boards for a living, then just stick with Open Boardview. Let's see. I think we're done. Good enough. Defreeze, no, it's a one-time purchase. Basically, it's a perpetual license, kind of like if you bought WordPerfect 5.1 or Microsoft Office 2007, things like that. So you buy it, you own it. The only thing that will cost you in the future is if you want to upgrade to the latest versions after 2 years. So for the first 2 years you can update, and then after that, if you want to jump to the next version, then that will cost you about half the price of the new license. And that's how it goes. Well, we actually have to change our MagSafe here. We've got a MagSafe 1 scenario. Let's see, do I have an 85 watt MagSafe 1? I do. It's a genuine one too. Fancy. Would you still live in the same... At this point, yes, I live in the same... would be living in the same area. If there's one thing the coronavirus has shown is that living out here is kind of useful. I still get my mail deliveries. I mean, it does take an extra day, which can be extraordinarily frustrating at times. That's just because it's got to go through the main Townsville sorting centre and then out to us. But that aside, it's quite advantageous. Oh, nice. Yeah, this person definitely takes their stuff seriously. Not that I didn't think they did, but it's not very often you see people take it quite this seriously on an old machine like this too. And we do not have a green light. Well, oh yes we do. This one need to be kick-started. These don't automatically start as far as I remember. Yep. Quite right you are, Paul. Quite right you are. Okay, we've got a screen. Well, we've got an Apple logo. We are booting. This is very nice. Much better than the usual paper ones. And yes, I think this is the high-res screen, isn't it? Slick. Alright, well, it is working. So we have our guest user. What is this? Shaggy Max. Oh wow, that came up quick for a guest user. Very nice. Clock's wrong. Whoop-de-doo. I don't think I can set the clock as a guest though. Can I? No, I can't. Oh well, it doesn't matter. Well, the point is, what I'm going to do is I'll just put this through testing now, see if it exhibits the faults that the person sent it in for, and hopefully we're all okay. So most likely it was a C7771 issue that we've resolved, and then we just cleaned up the other obscure things that we saw floating around from the prior person's soldering iron attempts. I'm quite happy about this. Let's see, about this Mac. Hopefully it doesn't give any personal information. Yosemite, 8 gigs, Nvidia 9400. Hey, that's a better chipset than mine. Displays. This is a 1920 by 1200 17-inch display, so it's better than HD. I always felt it was a bit of a shame that 1920 by 1200 didn't take off more. I've got a couple of them myself. I prefer them over the 1080s. But yeah, it's a nice panel. I'm quite happy with that. I can see why the person wanted to have it repaired. So I was glad to oblige. I'll take the effort and put the protector down. It's a nice piece of material. It's sort of like a chamois cloth or something like that. So it's Shaggy Max. I'll have to look and see if I can get a supply of those, because I like to put things like that in my laptops as well. And it's a much better job than the paper type ones that you see. Yeah, I'll have to find out where they got it from, or just Google it. So, alright then, well, that sorts things out for tonight, so I think we'll wrap up. It's yeah, it's only 11:30, but I'm going to go take this and put it through the Valley testing program and a few other things, and hopefully it will go through the night without any dramas at all. And unfortunately Cat Tech is here just as I am closing up. Bugger. Hey Galban. Apparently $15 USD. Is that for the cloth? Oh well, we'll find out. Anyway, so thank you all for dropping in. I appreciate it. Subscribe if you like. Thumbs up. Share around. Do whatever you got to do. And I will see you perhaps in the next stream. I've got a couple more to do, but that might be for tomorrow. Shaggy Max is the $15 thing. Okay, thank you for that, Gal. Appreciate that. Alright. And I will see you guys when I do. Catch you later.